Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let There Be Talk, Monday, September 25th. Long live John Bonham. Today was the day that John Bonham passed, the greatest drummer of all time. There's no argument. There is no argument. I can't even believe it sometimes when somebody tries to go like, what about? No. What? No. Right? I don't care what anybody says. There is no one cooler, no better groove, no better vibe, flavor, everything. No one more outlaw and dangerous. No more legendary. When you think of best drummer, everyone's going to say John Bonham, unless they're one of those dicks that's trying to just start a little, like, I'll show these guys. I'll just say someone else just to get a rise out of them. That's the only time anybody does that. John Bonham, the best ever. There will be never another one like him. Go on today, throw on some Zeppelin, and just fucking enjoy the glory of that man's groove. I'm talking, I've had all the drummers on here, a lot of drummers. I'm about to have Kenny Aronoff on here pretty soon. Incredible drummer. Josh Freese, incredible drummer. All these drummers. Jim Boges a few weeks ago on here. All of them say John Bonham. You know what I mean? Shit. He made me want to play drums, and I couldn't even play them. I was terrible. I was like, I grew the hair out. Hey, I got this. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, nah, I don't got this. I'm going to sing. John Bonham, love you, man. Long live that man. Great guest today. Thanks for tuning in. It is a little late today. Here it is in the afternoon, and a good reason, rightfully so. Last night I was doing the Comedy Store in the main room, and just another night at the store, going down there, working on some new stuff, enjoying myself, and went on stage in the main room. My friend's show, Augustino Zoida, had a show, asked me to do it. Went on stage. When I got off, they were like, dude, Dr. Dre's in the crowd. You crushed it. That was cool, man. I was like, oh, fuck, Dre? Dr. Dre at the store? This is rad. And after the show, I met him in the parking lot, took a photo. We exchanged a couple of words, and he said he dug what I was doing. I made him laugh. He asked around what my name was. It was insane, man. So I came home. I couldn't sleep. I was just jacked. Like, wow, Dr. Dre was at the show. There's these people, that inspire you growing up. And NWA was definitely way up there on the top of the list as far as like, wow. These guys are the fucking goods. They shook open the earth. They were outlaws. I've talked about them many times. I did a movie with Ice Cube that was absolutely monumental to me, and I'll never forget it. And that NWA film last year was incredible. Their music, The Chronic, are you kidding me? The documentary on HBO, The Defiant Ones. Everything about Dre, the Beats headphones, everything about this guy, man. And just to talk to him for a couple minutes last night was just like, wow. And I always sit there and think, 8 years ago, I wasn't even fucking doing stand-up. And here I am, 51 years old in that Comedy Store, and Dr. Dre is in the audience. It's just fucking crazy. So go for it, man. Get out there, people. And go for it. Who knows what's going to happen? We got shit shaking up out there, man. So you got to be living your life. You do not know what's going to happen. We got a lot of fucking A lot of shit shaking up out there. Great guest today. Talk about inspiring. This fucking man is basically the Forrest Gump of rock. Dave Ketching's my guest today. And if you love Eagles of Death Metal, or Queens of the Stone Age, or Earthlings, or Masters of Reality, or Mark Lanigan, and many, many, many other of those great desert classics, Caius, you are going to love my man, and you do love my man if you love that music and you know who he is. And if you don't know who he is, you will today, and you will fall in love with him. He stopped by, or I stopped by yesterday to the Eagles of Death Metal's rehearsal as they were getting ready to go on tour today with Mastodon and Russian Circles to finish part 2 of that tour that I saw about 3 months ago at the Palladium in Hollywood. And I'm going to go see it again in San Diego next month. Anyway, we sat down and we talked all kinds of great stuff. This guy has stories for days, man. For fucking days. He's also got a brand new radio show. We talk about that. We talk about him growing up in Memphis. We get a lot of conversation going about the 80s in Hollywood, which is absolutely cool. And it was an honor to have him on the show. We also, of course, talk about BOC's GoFund page, which I want you guys to go to, GoFund.com, and hit up Brian O'Connor and donate to that page. It's for a great cause. It was so exciting to have this guy on. Wow, man. I want to give a shout out to some incredible donations this week to Let There Be Talk. If you want to donate, it's patreon.com/Dean Delray. We got Eric Apex Hero Fleming. Thank you, buddy. Really cool. Eaton Box. that sounds like you play in the Scorpions. And the guitar, Eaton Box. Wade Stool. Fucking A, man. Thank you guys for the donations. Keeping the machine up and running and alive. See you in Chicago this week. Can't wait. Chicago. I will be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Zany's in Rosemont this week, 28, 29, 30. And on the 30 shows, 2 shows at night, it'll be Josh Wolf and myself together. And on the late Saturday show, we're going to be doing a little Q&A after, which will be fun. Come down and hang. Looking forward to that. And then I'm off to New York City for October 1st through the 10th. Be at the Stand every night except for the 6th, when I'll be seeing Bruce Springsteen on Broadway. Cannot wait for that. And don't forget, November 2nd, it is Bill Burr and myself in Iowa at the Surf Ballroom. A lot of great stuff going on. A lot of great guests coming up. I love all you guys. Keep spreading the word. And please, I can't stress enough what it means to this show for you to subscribe. It'll be fantastic. It helps it. It puts it in the top 100, 200, whatever. We want to keep it in there. We want the industry to notice. I don't give a fuck. I do this thing in my fucking bedroom, and I'll do it no matter what. I love it. Speaking of love it, you guys have been asking me how I've been losing weight and getting in shape. And I'll tell you, man, I've been eating way better. For so long, I would just eat junk, eat out late night, just whatever, burgers, fries, garbage, just throwing garbage down my throat, thinking, I'm good. I'm bulletproof. I worked out last month. I went hiking. I can eat anything. Nah, man. I eat clean now. And the way I do it is I use HelloFresh. These guys are fantastic. Total farm-to-box company. You ask what a farm-to-box company is. They basically ship fresh ingredients right to your doorstep. Super easy to cook. Super easy. You can get the classic box, the veggie box, or the family box. And You can get 3, 4, or 5 different meals per week delivered right to your house for either 2 or 4 people. It's so great, man. And it's all fresh ingredients and tastes fantastic. And I said it before, maybe you swiped left and you got a great date coming over, or swiped right. I don't know which one it is. I've never used it. Is it swipe left or swipe right? But maybe you got a great date coming over and you want to look like Chef Dean Del, what is that? Chef Boyardee. Chef Boyardee. Maybe you want to look like a fucking culinary king. Well, HelloFresh will help you do that. You can sit in there, cook up some fresh ingredients, measured exact quantities so there's no food waste. You know what I'm saying? They got 2 full-time registered dietitians on staff to ensure the nutrition is just balanced and perfect for you. Nice and clean, like I said, delivers food right to your doorstep in a recyclable, insulated box for free. And it's less than $10 a meal. Everybody's like, oh, man, I can't afford that. I go to Burger King. This is the same price, if not cheaper, than Burger King. Because you go to Burger King, you get that deal meal, but then all of a sudden you got an extra nuggets and a shake and onion rings, about 8,000 calories, and you're in at like $12. This is cheaper. And right now, if you use the code that I talked to them about to get you guys hooked up, you can save $30 off your first week of HelloFresh with Talk30. Use the code Delrazers Talk30. Check them out on YouTube. They got some great clips on there. You can look at the meals. Go to their website and check it out. You want to get this immediately and start eating clean and get nice and trim. You know what I mean? For the end of the world. You want to look good for the end of the world, don't you? I want to look good for the end of the world. HelloFresh. Less than $10 a meal. Talk30 is the code. I just slipped into Brody's voice. You got it. Get your HelloFresh. Also, my great sponsor, Cajon Harley. Over a year and a half now, these guys have been sponsoring the podcast. You want to get yourself a motorcycle, 2-wheel fever. It's that time in your life. And speaking of that, my guest lives out in Joshua Tree. Dave does. And man, riding out to Joshua Tree. You want to talk about something spiritual. Go to Cajon Harley. Tell them I need a Harley. I need to ride to Joshua Tree. And then from there, just keep going to the Grand Canyon, out to Zion, spin into, Highway 70 over Vale Pass, and then drop into Sturgis. Give a salute to Mount Rushmore on your new Harley from Cajon Harley. Hit them up, elcajonharley.com. Ask for my boy Greg Riley. Get a brand new 2018. They got all kinds of good stuff going. Harley's got great new machines. I love the CVO line this year. Hint, hint, El Cajon, I need one. Hit them up. They can get you financed. Go to their website, fill out a quick form, or trade in your motorcycle, or get it serviced. Cajon Harley. I love all you guys. I cannot stress enough how much I enjoy your emails. Dean Delray at yahoo.com. Thank you so much for your suggestions, your donations, and your love. Keep the candles lit. Let's get into it right now. Dave Ketching. Oh, yeah. Here we are. Where are we? We're at Bedrock.
Bedrock, L.A.
It's weird. I've never been to this place, and I've played music all my life. This is the second place I've gone with the Eagles of Death Metal where I've never been. This is insane. That other one was that wacky, cool studio where I interviewed Jesse.
Valentine Studio.
That place was fucking great.
It's one of the coolest I've been in.
Introduce yourself, my man.
I am David Ketching. Nice to meet you on the radio there, everybody.
God, it's so great to sit down with you, man. I'm trying to interview everyone from the desert, from the scene. You know what I mean?
Well, it's time for me.
It is time for you, and you are one of the ground zeros of the desert scene. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a granddad for sure.
Granddad. Yeah. How old are you? You 56?
56.
I'm 51.
You are not.
I am.
How'd you do that?
Isn't it amazing to be 56 years old and out there tearing it up and playing rock and roll?
Yeah, I thought I'd be dead by 26.
I know. What did you think you'd be dead from? Drugs?
No, I just figured like, being on the road, car accident, plane crash,
Yeah.
Buddy Holly style.
Yeah. Buddy Holly died on my birthday.
He did?
Yeah, it's weird. Bill Burr and I are going to go do the Surf Ballroom in November 2nd. And that's the last gig Buddy Holly, Big Bopper, and Richie Valens played.
Well, that's a really shitty birthday present.
Yeah, thank God it wasn't on the same year.
That would have been a total bummer.
Yeah, that's the day the music died. Bye-bye, Miss American Pie.
Man, Big Bopper. I mean, come on.
Big Bopper. Richie Valens, man.
That was a crusher. How old was he? He was only like 20, right?
I guess so, man.
He was young at that time.
When I think about that era of music, I really think about what's almost going on now. As far as back then, it would take like 3 or 4 guys or even all the Motown acts that had maybe 1 or 2 singles, and they put them on a tour together to fill rooms. That's kind of like what these festivals are now,
Yeah, you got a point. I never thought about it like that, but yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
Get tons of people together to enjoy and celebrate.
Yeah, and get people butts in the seats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, you're from Memphis, right?
I am from Memphis, Tennessee.
I just went to Memphis my first time, went to Graceland, and that was pretty interesting. Memphis.
I've never been to Graceland.
Really?
I mean, we used to drive by when we were kids because Elvis had such a crazy Christmas decoration thing going on.
Yeah, you were alive when Elvis was living there.
Oh, yeah. He died when I was 16, 77.
And were you still in Memphis?
I was still in Memphis, but I actually was on vacation in Florida when he died.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That had to be... what's interesting to me about Memphis is, and I've never been there, and I was finally there, they have not touched that city. As far... I felt like I was in the 40s.
Yeah, it's pretty... I was just there not too long ago. We played there, and... it hasn't changed a whole lot. Bill Street, they kind of fucked up and made...
Right. They made it like New Orleans.
Yeah, but not quite.
Right.
And when I was a kid, Bill Street was really cool still. Like it didn't have like... They weren't trying too hard. It was still had the vibe and still had some of the venues. But now they've made it kind of a music row kind of thing. Right.
Growing up in Memphis, what was that like? I've never met anybody who grew up in Memphis, Was it rock and roll? Was it...
Yeah, I'm originally from Arkansas, and I moved to Memphis in 1968.
Right.
And so I was 7, and it was really cool up until the mid-'80s. That's when I moved out here, 84. I started coming here in Los Angeles around 82. And up until that point, the music scene was amazing. Every punk band stopped through Memphis because that was like kind of when, 77 through 82 was
right.
when everybody started coming through. The Sex Pistols played.
Yeah, they did play there.
Yeah. My friend invited me to go, and I couldn't get out because I was 16, and my mom wouldn't let me go because it was a school night, not because it was Sex Pistols. She didn't care about that, but it was a school night. And my friend went, and he didn't get in because they oversold that place by like 800 tickets. So there was a big riot there that night.
Wow!
But everybody used to play at this. We started playing at a place called the Well, and that turned into the Antenna. And in the early '80s, that's how I ended up coming out as a Black Flag played, and my band opened up for it.
Wow!
And Circle Jerks and Gun Club.
Gun Club. Wow.
Yeah. That's actually how I came to L.A. Jeffrey Lee invited us to open for Gun Club in L.A., so we drove all the way for a gig.
And what was the name of that band?
The Modifiers.
And you drove all the way from Memphis to L.A. to open for Gun Club?
Yeah.
That is amazing. You know, I find all bands, not all bands, but a lot of them backwards. I remember I was way into this band, 16 Horsepower.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
Fuck.
Great band.
That song, Saw, I think it is. The EP was great. And I was loving this band for a couple years. And then my buddy goes, oh, man, I mean, you know, if you love these guys, you got to get into the Gun Club. That's what their sound is. And I was like, really? And then, boom, there I am, you know?
Yeah, the first Gun Club album is perfect. And then every other one is amazing. I mean, Miami's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really, and I talk about it a lot, I skipped over punk rock, and then this is what I love about music. Sonic Highways comes out, and I really get into that DC episode and all that, you know, Bad Brains and Fugazi and all that stuff. As a kid, I was only into a few. I loved Dead Kennedys.
Yep.
Because I was San Francisco.
Guitar band where they have solos.
Yeah, and I was way into Holiday in Cambodia. To me, it was. To me, and still to this day, it's about a song. A song hits me. I go, God damn, that's a great fucking song. Now, as you get older and stuff, you love Attitude. Or not even older, but, you know, you love Attitude or you love something, but it's still at the end of the day, it's a song, like, you know, Holiday in Cambodia. And then I worship Devo from ground up, man.
Oh, yeah. I remember watching them on
SNL.
SNL. Yeah, I was working at Peaches Records and Tapes at the time, and they actually put up this big, giant TV screen to play the Satisfaction video. That was part of their promo.
It was amazing.
It was Warner Brothers. Luckily, they were on a big label.
Right.
And I remember watching that on SNL back when they had every cool band.
Remember that?
Every week. I mean, but also we had Don Kirshner's rock concert.
Unbelievable.
In concert and Midnight Special.
Yeah.
And, you know, 90% of it was not stuff you really cared about, but there'd always be like Kiss or Aerosmith or Devo or whoever.
And they were playing live.
Live, man. Live. Black Sabbath. I remember seeing Black Sabbath on there.
Yeah, man.
UFO.
Yeah. UFO.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really crazy to think about. You're 56. Yeah. I'm 51. So we grew up in the greatest music era of all time.
I think so.
I really do, too.
I think between like the early 60s and the late 70s, some of the greatest music of all time.
Yep.
And hard to even beat nowadays.
Yeah, and also bands in that era got to do more than one or two records. So you really got to see something flourish from, let's say, Zeppelin 1 to In Through the Outdoor.
Yeah.
That's a totally different band. Nowadays, there's great music now. Love it. And I always tell people there's so much great music. But are they going to get to do 2, 3, 4, 5 records? Are they going to stay together? Can they survive? You know what I mean? How long can you just go, fucking, I'm in the band, you know?
Exactly. And a lot of those bands did so many great records. You know, now it's hard. After your first album, you put everything into it. It's always kind of hard to keep going. The second album, you know, the first album took you 10 years to write. You finally got it out, so it's perfect.
Yep.
The next album, you've got 6 months. But things don't really work like they used to. You know, it's not like that where bands were like Alice Cooper Band and stuff. They were putting out 2-3 albums a year.
Yeah, Kiss 2 a year.
Yeah, they put out an album tour
Van
for
Halen.
like 4. Yeah, go out on the road for 4 months, and then they come back with another album because they were writing on the road and super tight.
Yeah,
they go in and nail it. That come out the next, you know. So a lot of people don't do that because there's no big budgets to pay for it. So people are scrambling to.
Yeah, they come home and work jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
They fucking work jobs, man. You know, it's, you know, I talk to a lot of bands and I'm like, so what do you do when you get home? And the guy goes, well, I got this. Now the key to the game is to find that cool fucking job where the boss lets you leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That seems to be the necessity of rock and roll. To be able to play for years and years is, do you have that cool job, which happens to be with a lot of people, computer stuff. I can do this on the road.
Yeah.
So after sound check, they're working. Yeah. Hey, I got to get on the computer and work.
Painters, record stores, pizza joints.
Yep. Yeah. those were the only jobs when I was growing up. And same with you. If you had long hair, there was only 2 jobs. you either carpenter, landscaper, that kind of shit, or you worked at like, a music place like Guitar Center or Mesa Boogie or some kind Dunlap, whatever, where long hairs could work, Yeah,
I always worked at record stores and pizza joints because that way you could get your music cheap or you could eat too.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was vital. Like I think the rule in the band would be one guy has to work at like a burrito place.
Oh, yeah.
Then we all eat around 4. We come in, Then one guy works in a record store so we get free like cassettes on the side to, send our demos out. Then another dude would do construction so he could make some real money to buy the van.
Yeah, kids don't know about that because they can download songs free. Back when I was a kid, you had to buy your records, and then home taping came along, but we never really like ripped off. Like we only taped usually.
You taped the stuff you bought.
Yeah, so you could listen to it in your car.
Yeah, that was the trick, was to buy the LP, and then you could just record it. Then you have LP and cassette. And then when the cassette came out, you could go cassette to cassette, the dual cassette duplicator, and that way you had a backup. So in case your player ate it, but you didn't like really steal. You didn't steal music at all, except from those 1 penny Columbia House.
Yeah.
You give them a penny and you get 10 albums, and then you ditch them. That was the early stealing of music, but they were robbing people anyway.
Yeah, I never went for that. It always seemed super fishy to me, but I knew people that did that. They would do like 3 or 4 times and get like 30, 40
Get their whole collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny to think about that, too, because I didn't even know at the time, but now, when you look at them, they didn't have barcodes and shit. That was a separate pressing for those labels.
Oh, it was, huh?
Yeah, like if you look on eBay, it'll say like Kiss Alive 2. Columbia House version with no barcode or whatever.
Oh, weird.
You remember those K-Tel cover of those records?
Oh, yeah.
But they were covers at first. Before it was original artists.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know. You get one and it'd be like, this isn't Kiss.
Exactly, man. They would totally rip you off. I mean, maybe in the tiniest font ever you would see that not by original band.
I felt fucking robbed on that, man.
Yeah, that was pretty uncool for sure.
So you're growing up in Memphis, and what gets you into guitar? Is it what band and what record do you get?
Well, my brother had a bunch of bands in the 60s and 70s, so he got me in, like watching his band got me into wanting to play, and then he showed me a few. I used to sneak his guitar out from under the bed. My brother Jack, he had a band called Thunderhead, Spider's Web.
Spider's Web.
That was a good one. Gasper Ghoul.
Gasper Ghoul.
Yeah, he had a bunch of great bands, and they did some originals, but mostly like Alice Cooper, Montrose. Hendrix, Beatles, whatever. And I used to sneak his Les Paul out from under the bed, and he caught me one day and asked me if I really wanted to learn. He showed me Deuce by Kiss. That was the first song I learned. Well, I didn't really learn how to play it very well, but
yeah.
And after that, I saved up some money and bought a $150 Madeira Les Paul Jr. copy and borrowed some money from my mom to get a little crate amp, and that was off.
What'd your parents do for a living?
My mom sold pallets, and my dad was a golf pro.
He was a golf pro?
Yeah. He ran a golf course.
Right.
So
Caddyshack shit.
Yeah, exactly, man. Every summer I was picking up golf balls, diving in the lake, retrieving the balls, and I was mostly driving range, picking up golf balls for a living. It was fun driving around. I got really good at. They have a thing to pick up the balls.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So I'd be driving in the golf cart, just picking up golf balls, and I still suck at golf. I never really got into it when I was a kid. I was a good putter, but I never really played.
I love driving, man.
Yeah,
I was into that shit.
Do you play now?
I don't play now, but I used to sneak on and play. I was just horrible, but I could drive the fuck out of the ball. I remember I was so into John Daly back in the day.
Oh,
and I was like,
man.
that guy's a fat guy, and he's fat, and I'm fat. I could golf.
Hell yeah, man.
He's smoking cigarettes out on the course,
Real athletes.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Wearing wacky sweaters and pants. I was like, he's kind of rock and roll.
Fuck yeah, man.
That guy was hilarious. What record, though? What record gets you popping on it?
to start playing rock.
Yeah.
Well, my sister asked for Ziggy Stardust the year it came out for Christmas, and I bought her that, and that's kind of around that time. I think that's what really got me going. And then right after that, my brother had Alice Cooper Easy Action and a couple of Black Sabbath, like Master of Reality, and Sabotage.
Right.
And those were on 8-track.
8-track.
Yeah, and I used to listen to those. And that Alice Cooper album, Easy Action, is pretty crazy. And he also had Pretties for You, the two weirdest Alice Cooper albums.
Yeah. Alice Cooper, I missed Alice Cooper because, of course, it was, for me, it was Kiss, because I'm just, but I did like 18,
Oh, hell yeah.
What a great tune. But later on, Alice Cooper, to me, is that 80s stuff of like Poison. Yeah, I know. And then when I saw Supermensch, the documentary on his manager, I was like, holy shit, man. Alice Cooper. I mean, I knew he was great, like that whole kind of early Alice Cooper band and that stuff, but I never really dove into it until that. And then I was like, God, this is some great garage kind of were they from Detroit or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. They
were actually from Phoenix. And then they moved to Detroit.
Wait, he lives in Phoenix, right?
Yeah, that's where they were from originally.
Oh, really?
And then they moved to Detroit, and then they started coming out to L.A.
Fuck, never knew that.
Yeah. Frank Zappa put out their first 2 records.
God, Zappa, man. What a genius. Zappa put out the first 2?
Yeah.
On the Pumpkin label?
Bizarre.
Oh, Bizarre.
Back then, it was Bizarre.
Wow. You a big vinyl guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too, man.
I didn't take you up to our house when you were out in the desert.
I got to get out there, dude.
Yeah, Hutch and I kept this one little house where all our records are, and we've got thousands of records up there.
Now, look, no, you have the Rancho studio, right?
Yeah.
And you have other houses there? It's like a compound?
Yeah, Brian O'Connor lives next door.
Yeah.
And then I keep the other house that Hutch and I moved in, and bands, when they're out there, they stay there.
And then the third house is a studio.
Yeah.
Wow. And then where's your house? There, too?
I live at the studio, yeah.
You live at the studio. Yeah. I remember I saw a thing on Instagram once. You're like, you come out here, you get your ass shot. Like, guys, people after that Sonic Highways really wanted to go out there, right?
It's freaky. People, there's 20 no trespassing signs, and people just jump up and come up the road anyway. And I have pretty crazy neighbors that do have lots of guns. I mean, we all have guns out there because you need them. And my neighbors will fuck them up.
Well, you don't know what's going on. People could be cooking out there or growing weed or anything. I mean, a lot of the desert, and I wanted to get into this with you because we were out there last weekend for the benefit for Brian, which, by the way, there's a great GoFundMe page. Help him out. We're battling his cancer, and we want to get the fund up, but it's GoFundMe.com/
Brian O'Connor.
Brian O'Connor. And please donate to this because it's, it's...
He's the greatest.
He is the greatest.
If you've ever met him, you would know how great he is, and he deserves everybody to pitch in.
Yeah.
Because he'll do it for you.
Yeah, man. But my point is, being out there, here comes the birthday boy right here.
Jesse Hughes, happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Jesse. Happy birthday to you.
Fuck yes, dude. It's Jesse's birthday. He just got a pair of sunglasses we're looking at. Oh my God, they look like butterflies. It actually looks like a Trans Am eagle. It looks like the eagle painted on the Trans Am.
Like what I am.
Yeah, eagles of Trans Ams.
Did you see that? Because it's my birthday and I can be a dick, I got cornrows.
Oh, he's got cornrows.
Yeah.
Wow, you love to push it.
It's such a dick move to have cornrows. So it's like, white dudes get cornrows. It's like, what a dick.
Oh my God. Anyway, so let's get back into that. The desert, I was out there last weekend and you guys played and crushed.
We did crush.
It was a big benefit.
Really?
But
We were good?
fuck yeah. What are you kidding me, dude? That was great.
I think that was our best show with Jenny and Jorma.
How great is she?
I feel like we're a band. It's always been a lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
You and I, Davey, have had a lineup.
Yeah.
And we've had to sit on top of them, and now it's like it's a band.
It's unbelievable how good she is on bass, man. When they do the Sabbath thing,
oh hell yeah,
up tempo.
They do a bunch of different things.
When you really expect equal from a female as you do from a male for real, without just giving it lip service, and you dispense with that quote glass ceiling, how amazing everyone can rise, and no one has to feel like they're a girl bass player. She's a bass player.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh,
she's
she fucking
a fantastic musician all the way around.
She got amazing moves. Now, where's she from? She played with Hole?
That's
or
correct.
Courtney?
Courtney Love, yes.
Right.
Great guitar player too.
She's incredible. Oh, great guitar player
yeah.
too. Wow, she's so smoking on stage. Her vibe and her playing is, and then her tone is killer.
Oh yeah, she rips it.
What
up.
a score!
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so we're getting back into that. We're out there on the benefit. It's awesome. And it was my first time out to Joshua Tree. Can you believe it? I've gone.
It really was?
Well, I've been to Coachella a zillion times, and I've been to Palm Springs a zillion times, and I go to Arizona a million times, but I had never gone to Joshua Tree, the actual the place, and Pioneer Town where you guys did the gig and everything.
Where we did the gig with you.
Right, yeah. I sang a little AC/DC.
Yeah, man. We got to rock that up.
God, that was fucking great.
Having ever been to Joshua Tree is probably the kind of shit you want to keep to yourself.
You know why I did that? Because I think that it's a lot like people with Depeche Mode or something. They all say they love them, but most people haven't heard them. You know what I mean? To be cool.
So much, I even have Martin Gore's solo album.
Wow. But you know what I'm saying though? Like I like to admit stuff because my life is fucking busy, and you're like, I got to get to Joshua Tree. And how many times do you say like it's the same thing of like when I tell people you haven't been to Yosemite? Are you out of your fucking mind? You got to go to Yosemite, and they go, I'm going to get there, and it's like in California. It's not in like Egypt.
No, and it is one of the greatest places on earth.
Yeah. Well, I had Joshua Tree the record, so I'd been there.
Been there many times.
And I'd taken mushrooms many times. I didn't need the tree to do it. So we were out there, and I realized, and I'm jumping ahead because you said you came out to play open for the Gun Club, and then that gets you to move out here. Do you land in the desert back then, or do you land in Hollywood proper?
Hollywood.
And you get out there at what age?
I was just turned 21 when we came out to open for the Gun Club.
Where were you living? Were you still living in Memphis until then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so you didn't leave Memphis. You graduated high school there and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, and the band, the Modifiers, we would do a few shows out of town, not many, mostly New Orleans.
Right.
And also, at one point, Alex Chilton from Big Star and his own solo stuff, he was the bass player in our band for a short time. No shit? So he was a good friend. He taught me how to play the open tuning that I play
after Big Star?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, he joined your guys' band after Big Star.
Yeah, he played a few shows.
Right, yeah,
he was kind of
like I had Scott Tunis in my band from Zappa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he broke the band up.
Yeah. Alex just liked us. He was kind of a mentor to us. He thought we were trippy, he liked our scene.
Was he living in Memphis?
Yeah, he had just moved back from New York, and he was playing with a band called Panther Burn.
Right.
And he was playing with us, and then he moved to New Orleans, and we started playing down there. He would host us when we would go there, and one night he showed me open G tuning, the Keith Richards tuning that we use in Eagles of Death Metal. So that was in probably 1980.
Wow.
81 maybe.
And what was the sound of your band?
What was the sound?
Yeah,
we were cow punk. So we did punk rock, we did country music, and we did a kind of amalgam of both of those.
Which, because later you play with Tex and the Horseheads, which is cow punk too.
Yeah, that's how we played a bunch of shows with them. And
right. Were you around during the era where Linda Perry starts working with her? From Four Non Blondes?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, yeah, because she really was way into Tex and the Horseheads.
She was, huh?
Did Tex move to San Fran after that?
She lived up there for a short time, and then she moved to Austin, where she still lives. Because
I remember she was like playing lots of gigs on Haight Street and stuff, like the I-Beam and Night Break and shit.
Yeah, we played Night Break a few times together.
Did you play Sushi Sunday?
Yep.
How great were those days?
Man, Nightbreak was awesome.
That was a fucking legit club.
Oh man, I saw Primus there of New Year's of like 89 or 90, something like that.
Badass.
Back then. It was awesome because that place, what did it hold? Like 200 people at the
150. Yeah.
They tore it down, man.
Well, no, it's still there.
No, I mean,
they tore the place down. Night Break, the actual room's still there. It's weird. It's just like a bar now. You're like, oh, I walk by, and then the bowling alley's gone. It's Amoeba, but that used to be Rockin' Bowl.
Yeah, the Rockin' Bowl was awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Amoeba's killer though too.
Amoeba's great too. Oh hell yeah. So you go out to L.A. and then you play the gig and you go, fuck it, we're moving out here. The whole band move out here, or just you?
Well, for that, the first time was '82. We drove out. It was August of '82. We opened for the Gun Club on my mom's birthday.
Wow.
And we all took acid.
Wow.
And it was our craziest, most hateful show. And my mom didn't really drink or tell me that she was coming to the show.
She was coming to the show in Hollywood?
No, in L.A.
Oh,
I'm sorry, in Memphis.
Oh, Memphis.
For her birthday.
Got ya.
And it was our worst gig ever.
You're all on acid.
We're on acid, and it turned into like a hate fest with the audience. And Jeffrey,
some bad acid.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Lee loved the show. He thought it was fucking hilarious. And then I saw my mom after the show tripping. I wasn't expecting it, and she'd gotten a buzz that night. She never did. And she was like, you guys were so good.
Oh, wow.
So that was cool. She didn't disown me, which she probably could have.
Yeah.
And so we went to L.A. We played that show, and we just kind of hung for a week or so, just soaking it up, figuring it out.
What year was that, 82?
That's 82.
How dirty is Hollywood then? Remember that?
It was awesome.
I loved it, man.
Oh, my God.
It was like, it really was like fucking, like there was an energy there that would hit you and you could just float down the street. Like, wow, man, this is rock and roll. It truly was rock and roll more than any place in the world.
Well, the first night we got into town was the night before we played with the Gun Club, and we pulled up in front of the place that we were going to play called the Cathay de Grand.
Yeah.
We used to have all sorts of punk bands. And our friends who were roadies in Black Flag, they had a band called Nig Heist.
Yeah.
And we went to see them. And we went downstairs. We were drinking. We met 5 people that I'm still very, very good friends with, my very first night. And our singer disappears. And we're super drunk. We met all these girls that loved our whole scene because we were these, young kids from Memphis that were going to be playing. And
you're cowpunk. Do you got that rockabilly look?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, I had long hair at the time.
Right.
I was still long hair,
Kind of like an X look. Like X was kind of,
Yeah, tight jeans, cowboy shirts.
Yeah.
I had snakeskin boots. I was wearing leather pants back then.
Yeah.
Kind of going for it. And so we couldn't find her singer, and Tex, who was working at the club as a waitress, said, I saw him leave with this questionable lady.
Questionable.
So she walked out she walked us out to the alley, and sure enough, he'd gone out with some girl and gotten mugged.
Whoa!
So he was laid out in the alley. All our money was gone. He was holding all of our money.
Oh my God! So she wheeled him out like, "Hey, man, you wanna make out or something?"
Yeah.
And then robbed him.
Yeah.
Wow.
In the alley, and so Tex and me and my buddy Bob took him back inside, and then Pleasant Gaiman and Iris Berry, who I ended up playing with. All 3 of those girls I ended up playing in bands with, and our friend Laura Bennett, who I ended up being friends with, nursed him back to health, and then Pleasant invited us back to her and Iris's house called Disgraceland. It was a famous, it's where, the Bangles used to hang out, the Go-Go's,
wow.
and everybody.
That whole scene.
Yeah, they would all go back to this house and have these crazy parties. So we ended up staying with her for a few days. And it's funny because those 3 girls I ended up playing with in several bands over the years. Still great friends with all of them. But so we didn't have it really together to stay that time. So we went back home. We played a couple more shows with Black Flag and Circle Jerks, and then came back.
Rollins in the Black Flag era?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Wow.
Like the first time I didn't open for Black Flag because I was a part-time member of the band while we were at home.
Right.
And
part-time member.
Yeah. Then the second time
you rotated in.
Oh yeah. We had a couple of different guitar players that they would use. I had another band, so we kind of
right.
So we got invited back out by Keith Morris, and a couple of people said, "Yeah, if you guys come back out, we'll get some gigs." So
Circle Jerks.
some gigs. We came out. We made it. We ended up lasting about 3 or 4 months in '83.
Where were you living?
We were kind of living all over. We met a cool couple in Venice, and they had a daughter, Laura Norton, who is now married to Chuck Dukowski, the bass player from
Chuck was supposed to do this podcast for a couple of years.
Oh, dude, he's the coolest.
He kept saying he was going to do it, and it just never worked out. But they still live in Venice.
Oh yeah, they live in the house that we stayed at. It's on, it's right there.
They're still there.
And we had a van, and we would park the van there, and we would cook for the family and take the kids to school. And they'd let us park our van there. So we ended up staying there for a few months.
And what was the goal? To maybe get a record deal, or just play music, or just move to L.A.?
I think it was more just moving to L.A. We definitely didn't have anything about record deals,
Right.
Love you too. So yeah, we were just trying to hang out in L.A. We loved it. I mean, sun and surf.
Fuck yeah, right?
Rock
out
and
of
roll.
Memphis.
Yeah, man, it was great. So then we ended up moving up north. At the time, you could live on Leo Carrillo Beach and a couple of the parks for $3 a day. So we had a camper and a van, and we would just live on the beach for $1 each a day.
The whole band?
Yeah.
No bands would do that anymore.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Like, we're living in a fucking van on a beach, you know? People would be like, wait a minute, does it got Wi-Fi?
Oh, hell
I can't
no.
have peanuts,
We got really good, man. We would work a little construction for friends, and then we'd drive out there. We'd make dinner by the beach, go swimming, play guitars all night, and do it all over. So after 3 or 4 months, we had a ton more songs, and so we lived like that. And then we ended up kind of, nothing was really happening with us. We actually, when we first came out, we had Durf Scratch from Fear playing bass, and John Densmore from The Doors playing drums.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
John Densmore was playing with you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Actually, our first gig out here, we didn't have a drummer, so Bill Bateman from the Blasters just sat in with us.
Wow.
And sounded, he knew the songs better than our regular drummer.
That's insane.
Yeah.
John Densmore, though, man. Wow.
He came back and played a couple of shows with us in Memphis. That was a really big deal for us to go back home.
Yeah.
And play with John Densmore.
What was that guy like? Because he to me really felt like he had kept the credibility of like, fuck you guys, man. Jim would not be into this.
Oh, fuck no. He was awesome, man. He would let us rehearse at his house, and he was super cool. He's a pretty interesting dude. He was a drummer in The Doors. You can only imagine what kind of a crazy. And what were they? What was he? 20, 21?
Yeah, and they split it all 4 ways, so he got tons of money.
Yeah, I wish everybody did that.
I know.
What the hell?
I just read the Van Halen book, and they split it 5 ways, fifth to the manager.
Oh, really?
And I really think that, and we get sidetracked on this, but it's always a big fucking deal, is when you have chemistry, it doesn't matter if the guy didn't write or anything. If you all, like we're talking about, slept in this van at the beach and starved together and fucking battled shitty promoters and bad sound and rehearsed and shit food and lost your girls and everything, that is a commitment. That at any company, like right now, a startup, you would be an owner.
Absolutely.
You'd be an owner.
My band Earthlings splits everything evenly. Mojave Lord splits everything evenly. My solo album, I split it. Even though I wrote all the songs, I split publishing with everybody that played on it, because I feel like if they wouldn't have played on it, still nothing has happened anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Right.
But if anything did, it would be because those people played on it.
Yeah, I believe that too, because when you're playing in bands and you get the right guys, you're like, fuck, I don't want to lose these guys.
No, man.
And there's no money to make.
Yeah, and you're all sacrificing the same amount of time and effort,
Absolutely. So you guys are out in L.A., you're giving it a run.
Yeah, then it kind of fell apart, and, it just kind of ran its course. And Texacala, her band broke up, so we started playing together. And our friend Larry Mullins played drums. Now he went on to play with Iggy for 20 years. Played with the Stooges, the Residents. A lot of the guys from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. So
Sick.
He's still an amazing drummer and musician. So he still produces and he's around. He moved to Sweden now, or Norway actually. He moved.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, the scene here was amazing, man. It was a real family. It wasn't like it. I mean, I don't really know because I don't live here anymore, so I don't go out all the time.
Right.
But back then, you were all family. Like you played with the same bands at least once a month, if not 2 or 3 times a month. The bills would just go around, and it wasn't competition. It was really fun to all get together and do it together. You know, it was really, you looked forward to hanging out with your friends and putting on really great rock shows.
Right. And where are you playing at the time? Are you doing like
Raji's?
Raji's,
We were doing
yeah.
Raji's. We were doing Club Lingerie.
Club Lingerie?
Music,
How great was that room?
one of the best. Music Machine. That was
Music
another
Machine,
great.
yeah.
What was the place called? It was Osco's Cave. I don't know if you ever remember that place. We'd play the Scream a bunch.
The Scream.
That was the Scream before, when it was like Power Tools, before it turned into Scream. I remember going in there in 82. I think it was 82. And it was like a scene from The Hunger or something. You know, it was goth.
Yeah.
And it was so dark and fucked up, and it was great, man. It was so cool.
It's so great, man.
Yeah,
what about Central Club? Were you doing that pre-Viper?
Yeah, we would do Central occasionally. Where else? I mean, we're
Exposure 54, is that later? Or
I think it might have been later.
Yeah.
We used to play this one place called Ground Zero, and it was you would start the shows at 3 in the morning.
Whoa!
It was an after-hours show. You went down this really long hall, like super long. It kind of was like the maze to get in. But when you got in, they were selling electric Kool-Aid, like acid spike Kool-Aid.
Wow!
You could buy cocaine, any drugs that you. I mean, it was a full
in the joint.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was fully illegal club, but it was called Ground Zero, and we played there tons, and that was always crazy because.
Where was that? Downtown or something?
No, it was kind of near. We used to play the Anti-Club. I don't know if you remember that. That's like on Melrose, kind of by the freeway, and then Ground Zero was just past that.
Wow,
it was weird. I can't. I don't know.
Never heard of that, but that's badass. You buy your drugs at the door.
Yeah, one of our first gigs was at the Anti-Club. I met Flea and Mike Watt that night, and they were both giant Durf Scratch fans because they love Fear, and they were kids, you know, like little kids.
Yeah.
We all were, you know.
Yeah, right. It's so rad, man. And then you end up just staying out here?
Yeah, after at the end of 84, I ended up moving here and just kind of like taking on odd jobs, you know, mostly pizza delivery because that's the freedom job that you don't mind losing. If you did get a tour, you would, you know, if you couldn't get your gig back, it's no big deal.
Just work at another one when you come back.
Absolutely. And I helped open 3 restaurants at the country store in Laurel Canyon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, underneath
underneath there, the Italian joint?
Yeah, it started as Canyon Pizza, which the guys that own the store are super cool.
Right.
Really cool Iranian dudes that are all really, really cool.
Same guys still own it?
Oh, yeah. All of them still there every day.
Yeah.
You know, super cool.
I used to get a sandwich in there every day.
Oh, their sandwiches are killer, man.
They're killer, man. I would sit on the wood there. I'd just soak in that Laurel Canyon, you know.
Oh, it's so
great. My dream was to live in Laurel Canyon when I first moved here, and then I was like, oh, this traffic's horrible. Beechwood Canyon for me.
Yeah, exactly. I lived at 3 houses in Laurel Canyon. I loved it up there.
Yeah, I do too.
So,
my buddies lived in that mansion that Ruben bought where Blood Sugar Sex Magic. The Tiemans? Did you know them?
Oh, yeah, the brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, I OD'd on coke in there, man.
They were the Sandman and the Apes.
Sandman and the Apes, dude.
Yeah, for a while. And then they were they in LSD? Life Sex?
Nope, that's Alex Kane and those guys.
Yeah.
Alex Kane.
Can't remember. That was a great
Stanley
band.
Was the singer. I'm a tank.
They were crazy.
Some fucking shit ass stole my money. Yeah, I just had Alex on the show recently.
Oh, really?
And the Stanley guy lives out in Malibu or whatever, is rich as fuck, and he's just normal now.
Are you serious?
Well, he was always rich. That was just a thing, you know?
his thing was just act crazy.
Oh yeah, well he took it as like theatrical, like like a Kiss or Alice Cooper.
I kind of figured that. I heard stuff like that, but he was always crazy whenever you saw him. But they were a great band.
They were great, dude. Yeah. They were great.
We played with them a lot at the Lingerie.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the Sandman and the Apes guys. I went up there. I used to, I'd see those guys all the time. But I delivered a pizza to that house.
Yeah.
And somebody was recording up there. And I saw a ghost up there.
Wow.
The only time I've ever seen a ghost.
You saw a ghost?
Yeah, I saw a statue move around. It freaked me out.
Really?
Wasn't stoned or anything. But,
wow.
But at that Rubin mansion.
Yeah, man. I always say that, people say, hey, my apartment's haunted in Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah.
I go, I'm sure they all are. Because the amount of suicides in this town, every apartment's had a suicide in it. People move here hoping to make it. Boom. I mean, every apartment. If it's made before the 80s, people died in that thing.
Oh, you know.
Right? There ain't no way there's you can't go, hey, anybody ever die in here? They go, Minnie,
Dude.
But that mansion was, it was pretty, it had a lot of history. The lady that owned it, I think Stevie Wonder had a birthday party there in the 70s.
Oh, really?
And Alan and Howard, that lived in the main one, and then Eric lived in the weird side house.
Yeah.
But they would scour that thing in the attic and stuff, and they found Manson's actual acoustic guitar in there.
Oh.
Yeah, and boxes and boxes of his records. And
real?
Yeah, and Alan has Manson's guitar, and he did an episode here on my podcast and talks all about it. Alan Teeman, if anybody wants to hear it. But those days in that mansion were unbelievable, and that is really the Hollywood that I talk about over and over and over. Where you've got Jane's Addiction's about to hit, you got GNR's about to hit, the Strip is booming, but you also have all that other stuff going on, all the punk and stuff, Chili Peppers and all that.
I remember my buddy Dean Nailway from Triple X Record was... You got to go see my band I'm putting out. They're called Jane's Addiction. They're playing at Raji's, and it was me and 4 other people.
Wow.
And they were, it wasn't quite my thing at the time. It was a little too disjointed.
Right.
But I saw them literally 2 months later at Scream.
Yeah.
2,000 people packed, going crazy. I've never
2,000 people.
I've never seen an ascension of any band that fast in my life. It just like, Raji's was their first gig, so maybe like 2-3 months later they had played the Roxy and recorded that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That album.
Yep.
And so, but I'd never seen that happen before. It's most people struggle for years and years and nothing happens, and they just got tight and exploded. And I opened for them at the Scream on Highland one time too, a long time ago.
What a band, right?
Oh yeah, man. Amazing.
I mean. Those...
One of the best rhythm sections going, man.
Oh, God, that guy's so great, man, on drums, And Eric Avery, it's funny. My buddy did a record with Eric Avery. He produced it, Ross Robinson. And he told me, he goes, Eric Avery's the sound of that band.
Oh, yeah.
Because
super great guy, too.
He was the guy writing those grooves and stuff like boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I mean, that stuff is like... And that was, and properly promoted as our Zeppelin for me, because I'm 51 and I didn't get to see Zeppelin. But they were that like, this is going to be the next Zeppelin.
Well, that's what I mean. Like when I saw them at Scream, I went there not really expecting many people to be there or them to be, and they were explosive. They just clicked super fast.
Yeah, it's weird when you think about when some lightning strikes. Even if you talk about Guns N' Roses, they didn't. Yeah,
saw them at little clubs.
Yeah, but they didn't hit right away like Jane's. Like it wasn't like 7 people and then 2,000. But when you see bands, you go, oh well, these guys, they're gonna do it. Yeah,
I remember seeing Guns N' Roses. Where did I see them? Maybe at like Gazzari's or something.
Yeah,
and they were great then. But they had a pretty fast ascension too, man. They kind of But they were hitting it hard,
Yeah. I felt like back then that if you didn't get a deal in about a year and a half, it was done.
That seemed about right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you would see these bands, they were guys in other bands, they would get a band together like GNR or whatever, and all of a sudden it would just take off and you go, oh, that's it. And then other bands would be just going forever, nothing, you know?
It's funny. I was at a dinner party when we were living in Venice, and Rosanna Norton, who is Laura Norton's mom, knew all these famous people, so she would always invite famous people over, and I can't think of the guy's name right now. He's a super famous photographer. He did the UFO Phenomena cover.
Oh, yeah.
What's the guy's name? I can't remember, but I remember he was like, if you haven't made in L.A. in 9 months, you need to get the hell out of here. You're never going to make it. and we were there for about 8.5 months at that time. And I was like, I'm not ready to go yet. I'm not ready to go. Yeah. I still haven't made it, and I'm still not ready to go.
Well, there's a point where who's looking, you know, there's I always describe this to people of like, what are your definitions of making it? To me, it's doing art at 56 years old like yourself. That is 100% making it. Other people, they put a monetary thing on it or whatever, but I've been on stage my entire life. This would be like 35 years this year of being on stage, from music to comedy. I've 100% made it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've totally made it that way. I mean,
yeah,
I'm 56 and still playing rock and roll, which is pretty unheard of unless you're AC/DC or the Stones.
Yep.
And I'm playing in the most fun bands ever. I get to play with Eagles of Death Metal, Earthlings, Mojave Lords, Masters of Reality. You know, yeah, I'm the luckiest dude in the world.
Spent some time with Queens.
Hell yeah. I played, started Queens with Josh.
Yeah, started Queens with Josh. Let's talk about that, because how do you land from Hollywood and say, I'm getting the fuck out and go to the desert? Because I remember once Caius hits, I start hearing about the desert scene, the generator parties and everything, and I'm obsessed with Caius at the time. I'm like, this is the greatest band ever, you know? And then when I go to see him, I'm like, there's pre-videos and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like, those are the guys? You know
what I mean? Kids.
Like, I was like, that Josh guy, he's got to be playing football or something. You know, he short hair.
Indeed.
Yeah, he's got that Ovation guitar. He's playing those weird Ampegs. And everything about him was so original. But how do you bounce out of Hollywood? What calls it a day and you get out to the desert?
Well, I ended up recording a record with Pleasant and Iris. It goes back to the girls I met the first night in L.A. And we had a band called the Ringling Sisters. And we got Lou Adler decided to produce our record. He
the
did
Roxy owner.
Yeah,
who's in the Hall of Fame now.
Oh, yeah.
Rightfully so.
I mean, Mamas and the Papas, Rocky Horror Picture Show. I mean...
Yeah. Genius, dude. Cheech and Chong.
Oh, Cheech and Chong. Genius guy.
Yeah.
Super cool, too. We did a record with him for A&M. This was big time. It's 5 girls doing poetry, Mamas and the Papas harmony. I mean, it's ready to blow up. Everybody working at A&M that was pushing our album got fired in the same day.
Oh, that's
Cleaned house. That was the end of that. And at the time, everything was business, music business. It got from fun to business. And
and what year are we looking at?
We're looking at 92.
Oh, that's where like the hair drops off.
Yep.
People clean houses, and we're getting ready. Here comes the grunge Mach 2 phase.
Absolutely.
Right. So and Hollywood becomes tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
So everybody's out of there.
So I was playing with some other friends called Continental Drifters, and yet another band I was an auxiliary member. We would all change up because they had a residency at Raji's for years. And so I would play quite often with them. They got a gig at Jazz Fest in New Orleans. Now, I wasn't invited to play, but I told them I had a bunch of weed and mushrooms and could I ride in the RV? And they were like, oh, hell yeah. Where are you going to stay? And I'm like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And the drummer, Carlo Nuccio, said, just stay with me and my family. It's cool. So we drive across country. We get to their manager's house. I knock on the door. He opens the door. We become best friends instantly. And I end up staying there and hanging with him. And they play the show. We go back home, and then my friend Larry Mullins is going to New Orleans to record with Iggy Pop.
Right.
So I'm like, hey, can I ride with you? Because they were doing it at Daniel Lanois' studio, Kingsway.
Unbelievable.
And I was like, I'll just go if it's cool. I'll ride with you back and forth. And he's like, Yeah, so we stayed at Kingsway for a few days before the band got there.
That theater one?
Oh, one of the most... No, this is in New Orleans.
Teatro is the theater
Yeah,
one.
Teatro,
Right.
another amazing place.
His one in Silver Lake blows my mind.
I've never been there, but I heard
my
it's insane.
It's actually insane.
Yeah.
I got the weirdest land law story. I'm at this. I land in L.A. Silver Lake, and I'm living behind Spaceland, and I'm at the 7-Eleven every day, and then I keep seeing this guy on this fucking motorcycle, and he goes, and I pull up on my bike, and he starts talking to me, and he goes, yeah, I ride, you ride? I go, I ride every day. And he goes, what do you got? And I go, I got a few Harleys. I got a V-Rod. I got a Road King. He's like, yeah, I got this Beamer. And I live right around the corner to stop by. And I'm in his house. And I'm fucking looking around. I go, this is fucking Daniel Lanois. I can't even fucking believe it. I'm calling my buddies because I am such a giant U2 guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, at the time I was like...
And his solo albums.
Oh, God, that one... For
the Love of Winona.
Take the life away.
Oh.
That solo record is so fucking good. The one with him on the cover, the blue covered one.
Yeah.
That record's phenomenal. But he's showing me stuff like... Yeah, here's the. This is Bono's Gretsch Cadillac Green Gretsch Tennessee. Here, this is the guitar Emmylou Harris played, the J200 on this record, and it's this fucking giant house with stained glass and a fake kind of like river pool, a lake pool and stuff. And we became friends, you know. And I'd see him all the time at my buddy's leather shop, Lord's. He got hit on his bike, man, and
I know that was bad.
That was bad. But anyway, sidetrack. But it's funny when you land in L.A. and you're 2 feet from one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
But you stay at Lanois' studio?
For the first 2 days before the band got there. And then I went and stayed with my buddy who I'd met before. The night before I got there, someone had broken in and he had to shoot the guy.
Shoot the guy?
Yeah, he blew the guy's hand off.
What?
Blew the guy's hand off. And I had to stay in that room for the
with
next
blood
couple
in
of weeks.
there?
Still blood and everything.
Some guy broke in, he just shoots him?
He shot him.
Who shot him?
My buddy Jimmy Ford, who I still play with to this day in a band called the Gnarltons. I play with him and his wife.
That's radical.
Yeah, he's the raddest dude you will ever meet. Jimmy Ford, man.
Wow. The guy go running?
Oh, yeah. The guy ran. He got caught. He'd killed people, and he had killed people. He's in jail forever now.
Wow.
So I had to stay there. Anyway, at the end of this trip in New Orleans,
yeah.
Jimmy's like, I want to take you by this bar. This is where, like, he marches in the Mardi Gras parades. And so he's like, this is where our marching crew meets in the morning before Mardi Gras morning. I want to show you. And we walk in. The only two people at the bar are both of his aunts. They're sitting at the bar drinking.
Yeah.
He introduces me to the owner and the aunts. We have a couple of drinks. We leave. I fly home. He calls me 2 days later and says, you know that bar I took you to? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, they're looking for somebody to take over the restaurant. And I was like, all right, I'll let you know. And he goes, no, it's got to be you. And I was like, well, I've got bands. You know, I can't. Yeah. I don't have any money. And he goes, dude, this place for the restaurant, the venue, and 2 floors above it with 6 bedrooms is $1,000 a month, including utilities.
Oh my God!
I was like, I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh my God!
So I flew to New Orleans.
Yeah,
and immediately came back. I finished recording. I was recording at a place called Dominion Way with Fred Drake, who I started the studio with. So anyway, we finished this recording, and I told everybody I was playing with, I'm moving. I'm starting a restaurant. I'm changing directions. So I moved to New Orleans. I opened this restaurant
in '92.
In '92. This is probably like in August or so of '92. In October and November, I get a call from Fred Drake, who I'd worked on records with at this place.
Yeah.
And he tells me our friend Dean Chamberlain that owned the studio is selling all his gear. And I'm like, that's great. He goes, I think you'd be a great partner for this. And I was like, yeah, but I just opened this restaurant, and I don't have a lot of money. He goes, it's $6,000 for all his gear, all his recording gear.
Yeah.
That's mics, everything. We can pay him $100 down and $50 a month. He doesn't care. He just wants to get out of the business. I sent him $3,000 for my half the next day, and we had a studio.
And what do you get in that? You get like what kind of board and
stuff? We had a Soundcraft Series 600 board.
Right.
We had
some mic pre's and shit.
Yep. We got a Fostex 16-track half-inch.
Oh, wow.
We got, whatever.
Punk rock stuff.
Yeah, not a lot, but, a few mics, all the cable, everything to record.
Right.
But I'm in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So he sets it up.
Where's he set it up at?
At the Rancho.
At the Rancho.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He has the buildings already and stuff?
Yeah, he's already living out there, and he sets it up out there. And I was like, maybe in a year or something, I'll be able to go out there and record,
right.
With him because he's such a great guy. So a few months later, fire at the restaurant.
Oh, fuck.
Not horrible, but enough to
shut it down.
Shut it down and shut down where we were living. The people that own the building weren't insured. So there goes my business that I paid 6 months in advance. And so I tried to live there for a couple of months without electricity.
You're just squatting style?
Oh, yeah. We had cold water, and that was it. And then I get a call from Hutch, and he goes, our buddies Caius are going to Europe, and they're looking for a guitar tech. I mean, do you want to just get – because I was telling him, like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Like,
yeah.
I'm stuck here. I'm looking for something because it doesn't pay a lot, and I'd never been to Europe. And it was like, let's
Europe. Let's do it.
Let's go to Europe with Caius. I mean, I love.
And Hutch.
They were. Oh yeah, well, my best friend.
Yeah.
So we went to Europe, had a blast. I come back from Europe. Who decides they want to record at Rancho? Daniel Lanois.
What? How does he know about it?
Trina Shoemaker, who engineered Rated R,
right?
Learned how to engineer from Fred Drake.
Wow.
So she had told Dan and his crew about this place in the desert, and he sent his guy Mark Howard out to look at it. Mark came in. This is cool. I think he'll go for it. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to bring his Neve and his Studer and all his gear. We're going to leave it here for 6 months to a year, and he'll probably record here. He's in the middle of doing, probably whoever, Willie Nelson.
Right, oh yeah, Willie.
But
yeah.
He was like, he'll probably do 3 weeks over the year. But we won't pay you, but you can use
the gear. So he's going to sub it out because he closes down Teatro.
No, he was in Mexico. He thought he was cursed by a witch in New Orleans. So he split there. And at the time, he'd bought a military mess tent, erected it on the beach in Mexico, and set up all his gear on the beach.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. And
he had a studio in a tent?
On the beach.
Like one of those big army tents?
Yeah, mess tent.
Yeah.
So when they brought everything out, we unrolled the tent and fucking scorpions were crawling out of it. They packed scorpions. But they brought all the gear in. They set it up. They did everything that we needed. And he came a couple of times, but once he came while I was there, and he had Daryl Johnson playing bass and Brian Blade playing drums. The two baddest. I mean, Brian Blade's probably one of the best drummers in the world.
Right.
And they jammed, and me and Fred were there. Fred was on an IV because he was really sick at the time. He was just walking around the house with an IV.
Oh, my God.
And Lanois really loved Fred. And so anyway, after he left, we did Caius and Wool. They did a split.
Which Caius record?
It was a split single with Wool.
Oh, I got you.
I can't remember. Maybe it was. I can't remember the name.
Now are somewhere along the way you get some engineering skills, or are you just producing, or what are you doing?
Strangely enough, I took engineering in high school, so I knew a little bit about it, and I knew how to get around. I suck at Pro Tools, but I'm good at
analog.
And analog, I'm great. So anyway, we did some Caius and Wool, and then Victoria Williams records. So that people started asking us about the studio, and then Caius broke up, and Josh and I were friends, and he went to business school for a while, and then he decided he wanted to put together a band, And he came back and he started doing it with Fred. Hey, Fred, I want to jam. So he went up and actually Fred and him jammed on the first Queen stuff. And then Josh and I tried to put together a couple of, we tried it with Brant Bjork and a couple of different people. And we tried it with Adam Maples, the drummer for Earthlings. And finally, he just decided he went back to Seattle and put together Mike Johnson and Matt Cameron, and they started doing shows up there, recorded some stuff, and then
the early Queen stuff.
Yeah,
Matt Cameron played in early Queens.
Yeah,
holy shit!
Just for a couple of shows, I think.
Wow, I never knew that ever.
Yeah, and then he came back and we put together some stuff, and
because he moved up there and he was playing with Lanigan, right?
He was playing with Screaming Trees.
Right, Screaming Trees, yeah.
So, it just kind of, happened because we were friends, and then that stuff didn't work up there, so he came back, and we did a bunch of demos of the songs, and then finally he started the record at Rancho with Alfredo and him, just doing most of the stuff. They were going to have me play a little bit here and there, and Mike Johnson was playing bass, and for some reason that didn't work out, so they squashed that for a second. Then he did it at Goss's studio. Goss had a studio in the low desert called Monkey Studio. And that's where he ended up doing the record, him and Alfredo. And I played a little bit on it. Hutch played a little bit on it. Goss played a little bit. And then after that album came out, I started touring with him. So I played with Queens from 97 through 2000.
And that lineup is you, Nick,
Alfredo,
and
then at one point it turned into me, Nick, and Josh and Gene Troutman. And then after that I started getting busy with Earthlings. That was my band.
Yeah.
With Queens I was just playing Josh's songs, so I kind of split off. I really started doing my own stuff.
Well, that Earthlings record, the 98 one, with the alien on the cover. The weird looking thing. It's so funny. I didn't even know it was your band. So we're out there in the desert, remember? And I go, that guy's wearing an Earthlings shirt. And I go, fuck, I love Earthlings, man. Those guys are great. You go, that's my band. I was like, what? I didn't have fucking... It was one of those things where someone turned me onto it a long time ago, and I never even looked who was in the band.
Yeah.
I would just play that thing all the time.
Oh, yeah. Pete Stahl singing. Maples on drums.
It's fucking great, man.
Yeah, Dave Grohl plays drums on one of our songs. Pete brought Dave out there right after everything happened with Kurt, and he was like, you need to come out to the desert and meet my friends out there. So he came out, and we spent like a whole day just jamming, and we ended up getting a song out of it. Wow.
And so you, obviously, when you leave New Orleans and you just moved to Rancho and just never looked back?
I moved to L.A. with Pete Stahl and the whole crew of people. Lydia Russell, who was running Man's Ruin at the time.
Oh, Man's Ruin.
Josh was dating her at the time, and Pete and his sister were living at the house. And then one of the houses next door came up for rent next door to Rancho, and Hutch and I moved out there.
How'd you meet Hutch?
I met Hutch because he was married to Pleasant Gaiman, who I ended up... That's who I met the first night I was in L.A.
Wow.
Ended up playing in the Ringling Sisters and a band called Honk If You're Horny, which was our triple X-rated country band.
Wow.
And when we were friends, he started dating her, and then they ended up getting married, so... That's
Hutch
how we became
rules,
friends.
Man.
Yeah. Oh, he's the best.
He's, I'm going to have him on the show, but I really feel there should be a documentary on Hutch, That
would be a good one, man. He's got a long story for sure.
He recently retired, man, right, from the road.
Yeah, he and his lady opened...
they got a place.
Yeah, they got a venue called LaGrange.
Yeah.
And it's going to be kind of like an Austin City Limits place.
I'm going to do comedy out there.
Oh, you got to.
Yeah, we're gonna do maybe a comedy show out there once a month. Bring some guys out there.
Dude, that would be... It's a really awesome venue.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. It's great.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Let's talk a little bit of Rancho. Some of the records that have been done in there, some great stuff. That Sonic Highway stuff that had to be cool for you guys, right?
That was awesome. Dave and I have been friends for a long time, and he hit me up to... I was really surprised because in L.A., think of all the amazing studios you could have gone to.
Totally. Conway, Ocean Way.
Oh my God!
Sound City,
Valentine, even
Valentine, blowing my fucking mind still. But
yeah. So you can imagine my surprise when he decided to take it out there, and it was a really great experience. I mean, Dave's a great guy, and he also, since he's so successful, not only can he hire the best of the best, he can hire the coolest of the best of the best. So everybody that works for him is super, super cool and the best. So having all those guys, I mean, a lot of his, we've toured with, we've done a bunch of shows with Foo Fighters and stuff. So all their crew, we're all great friends. Hutch toured with, the whole thing is like a big family. So, yeah, it was a giant undertaking. It was a lot more than I thought. I thought they would just use my gear, and they came in semis almost, like giant moving trucks full of, tape machines and
stuff from his studio.
Yeah,
holy shit!
Because I didn't realize they were taking 2 tape machines to every. I don't know if they did it for every place.
Stuff from 606, they would just bring it with them, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. That was a fucking great series.
Oh man, amazing!
It really was great, man. I think it's underrated.
Oh, I think it really opened up a lot, like it taught me a lot about certain cities, Me
too, man. Yeah. Me too. Yeah. Like that whole DC thing, man. I mean, I'm 51, and I realized that you can get turned on to stuff that happened, years ago from a scene that you had no idea about.
Absolutely.
That's it. Like, here I am all digging into the desert scene. Like, you don't know about the desert scene? They're like, what? You don't know about DC? And then somebody else like, you don't know about, whatever scenes.
Yeah. I really loved that series. I thought he did an excellent job of showing people what the roots of those cities really was all about. I'm looking forward to another one. They were talking about trying to do like Europe or, I think that would be really interesting. Berlin, London, all these great places.
I was trying to get with Dave Grohl. I have no connection.
You're trying to get with him?
Yeah, I'm trying to, you know what I mean? He's kind of sexy, but he's busy as fuck. But I really wanted to pitch the same kind of vibe, but go to cities where lots of comics came from.
Yeah.
Being Boston, Burr and Louis C.K.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and then go to like Houston and that Kinnison and Bill Hicks era.
Hell
go to San Francisco and cover those guys there. And these eras of comedy and why these guys are funny as fuck. From this era. And then, at the end, instead of doing a song like them, I would do a set in the town that these famous guys were from,
I love that idea.
I know. I was like, and I was going to do it just on a motorcycle riding around, but I don't know how to get a hold of them, But I think it's like Sonic Highways, but, funny highways. It's another version of it, but done great.
Sonic Ha-Ha ways.
Yeah, Sonic Ha-Ha's. The reason that works so good is how it looked and the flow of it. It didn't feel cheesy like a behind the music or whatever.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it felt great, man. Now you're playing Eagles of Death Metal, of course, and that documentary was fucking crazy heavy.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
You haven't watched it yet?
Saw like a rough cut a long time ago, and
you don't want to watch it because I mean, I don't even
really
know how you can.
Yeah, I don't like watching a lot of stuff with me in it. So
right.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough, pretty rough time. So
yeah,
maybe watching it isn't that.
Yeah,
good.
I get it. That's a great documentary, though, and also so heavy.
Yeah, Colin's awesome, man. He's a great guy and a great friend, and he, the fact that he wanted to do that. When we went back to do the live show after, that was definitely the hardest show I've ever played, and it wasn't my best show. Only because it was so emotional. I mean, a lot of the people that were at Bataclan were in the same. They made a concerted effort to be in the same spots that they were at the Bataclan. It was part of their way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
So it was goosebumps, you know.
And
so very emotional for us, but you would look out and people would be like laughing and then they'd be crying, you know, and then looking around. I mean, that was, you know, heavy.
Yeah,
heavy.
Man. I couldn't even, you know, imagine. You know, I mean, it's one of the most famous, you know, growing up when you hear about I still think, and it's not terrorists, but I still think back to that Who concert in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
I still, look at that, man. I still think about that. Like, goddamn, these people are just there to have rock and roll and feel good, and they got trampled, you know? And it's like, I still think back of these tragic things of when you're at a show to celebrate art and you're there and something bad happens, you know?
Yeah,
man, it's fucking crazy. Did you, was it hard to play gigs after that? I mean,
I will say that U2, I can never thank them enough for getting us to come back to Paris that soon after everything happened, because them being so cool and gracious. I mean, they flew us over first class. I don't think I would have wanted to play for a while, maybe ever. Who knows? You know, I mean, I definitely was not in a hurry to play any shows. And I was actually in New York with my girlfriend, Brandy, just, you know, trying to clear my head of the whole thing. And Josh called and said, you can't tell anyone, but U2's invited you guys to go back over and play with them. And immediately said yes, because I knew that was going to be safe, you know, for sure. If you're ever a gig, that's going to be pretty safe. And we got there and they, you know, they embraced us so well. They were so cool. And, you know, what Bono said, you know, these guys were robbed of their stage and we're going to give it back to them to finish their show. Those guys are so cool. And after that, you know, it was heavy. That was a great show. The crowd there, you know, you really felt the crowd was with us because of everything, you know, that we were back. And after the show, it was the end of tour, so they threw one of the coolest parties, you know, just those guys were just hanging out, drinking champagne, you know, a beautiful view of the Eiffel Tower in the background, tons of great food, super cool people. And each one of those guys made a point of talking to us, and just amazing, you know. Adam Clayton gave Matt his bass that he played. That, like, I want you to have this bass.
Wow.
And you know, they were asking me, you know, which guitar of the 50 would you like to play tonight? And I was like, how about the famous Les Paul, that all that cool stuff. So I got to play his Les Paul, and they were like, which amp would you like to play? We have these Fender. This one Fender is one that Neil Young gave the Edge. I'm like, I'll take that, Neil Young. How about that? But they just, if they wouldn't have done that, I don't know how quick to jump on a live show I would have been. And after that, we went back on tour, and for a while I was definitely looking around the venues for sure, you know, looking around and making sure everything was cool. But our first show was in I can't remember. It was either in Norway or Sweden, and it was crazy. I mean, like, we walked on stage and we got a 10-minute standing ovation.
Wow.
It was people, you know, we got the best fans in the whole world.
We really do, man.
We do. It's all, you know, it's all people coming to shake ass and have a great time.
Yeah.
And people are always just super nice to us and go to have a good time, and everybody seemed to be super happy that we were back, and that made us, you know, but for a while, definitely I was looking around the places.
It's interesting that U2 was the band, because before we started the podcast, we were talking about just how magical Joshua Tree is. And they had the monster record, Joshua Tree. And when I'm out there and it's such a part of your life, it's weird that it's almost like a full circle. U2, the Joshua Tree, you living out there. It's this whole desert thing that always seems to bring magic to the whole team of you guys, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting. When Fred moved out to Rancho, before we had the studio, on my first trip to L.A. For the Gun Club show, on the way there, Bob Ohm, our guitar player, was, back in the days when you had maps and not phones.
Yeah.
He looked on the map. He's like, "Hey, Joshua Tree National Park, man. We're not in a hurry. Let's cruise through there because you can go. You get in there off the 10." So we went through it and we're blown away. Just blown away. It's 82. Not many people living out there. We drove
totally
through,
different.
and it was like from 82 through like 87 probably. I didn't really even think about it, and then it popped in my mind, and I think I saw a commercial with it, and I was like, "Oh yeah!" And I looked on the map, 2 hours. I'll just leave at 10 in the morning and go out there for the day. And I started doing that a lot.
Right,
Like,
Steve Agee's doing that
Yeah,
now a lot.
I would just do that. I'd leave at 10 in the morning, get there by noon, and then after I learned the thing, I would take mushrooms as soon as I hit the 62, and by the time I got in the park, I'd be coming on to them, and I would go camp, crawling around.
Yeah, would you camp there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
But then when Fred moved there, I used to go visit him, and I would go cruise around and stay at his house, which is now my house.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I always felt magic in that house, always. And when we started recording, we've only had a couple of small instances of people having a bit of trouble there, but most everyone opens up and writes a song or has a great session. It's just, it's a very special place. Joshua Tree in particular, Joshua Tree in general, but that house especially is very, very special.
Now, the owner died, and the parents have, or the kids have it, right?
His wife has it.
Right.
And I just talked to her yesterday, and I rent this place. A lot of people think that I own it.
Right.
But they, it's special to them too.
You tried to buy it from them, right?
I tried for 25 years, and she's going to wait until she passes, and then they said they'll sell it to me, no problem.
Right. Oh, they'll sell it to you? She said that yesterday?
Yeah.
So she finally said she'll sell it to you.
Yeah.
How have you this is a question I want to ask you because a buddy of mine wants to get like an Airstream, put it out there and just kind of fucking chill how have you seen that desert change? Because when you're thinking about the old days, it's really people that wanted to get away and hide. It's like a Bolinas in NorCal where maybe some Vietnam vets, some people that are like, don't like society, the grind, they disappear out in the desert. That's a desert vibe. And for years and years, it's like, air quotes, meth heads and hippies and radicals out there, Yeah. But how have you seen it change? Because now it's big money out there, right?
Yeah, not L.A. big money,
right.
But yeah, when we first moved out there, unlimited supply of homesteader cabins. Back in the 50s, if you built a certain size cabin, they would give you 5 acres if you homesteaded it.
Oh, wow.
So at the time, there were thousands of these places, thousands.
Everybody would get 5 acres for free, huh?
For free.
Wow.
If you homesteaded it.
Right.
So a lot of these places didn't have water. A lot of them did. They'd have power and water, but they'd be... And back then, 20 to 40 grand, you would
20 to 40 grand, you'd have 5 acres.
Easily, like all day long.
Wow.
All day long.
Yeah.
Forever. And then... at one point when everything got really high, those places were like 75, which back then you were like, hell no, I ain't paying 75, but a few people would, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they dived back down to like, back up to like 55. So
right.
Kind of in the middle there. And then it became hip. Like,
do you think it's Coachella that made that whole area hip, bringing people out to it? Like, wow, this is cool. What do you think it was?
I think me and Hutch just opened our yaps way too many times, telling people how cheap and awesome it was. And then Coachella, of course,
right. And
Also-
Palm Springs got hip. And then all of a sudden, other people are like, hey, I like this. And there's all that incredible architecture out there. You know, you got those metal homes. You've got all the ultra moderns. And you've got great shit out there. And all of a sudden, people are like, hey, this is cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why Goss moved out there. That's why I moved out there when Chris and Cynthia, when she found Caius and talked Chris into producing him, and he started going out there. They found like a movie star home for like, I don't know, $800 a month or something, or something crazy, like
totally.
a pool, and I mean, it was amazing, and they were paying, So I think a lot of what really did this is three things. Not being able to get a house for under $350,000 in L.A., no matter how shitty, in a shitty neighborhood. Airbnb, and the fact that out there, if you looked a little bit for $75,000, you'd have a decent house on 5 acres, and then Airbnb hit, and then everybody was like, well, hell, I'll at least buy that, pay it off, and have that, and then when I want to move out of L.A., so I think that's, and plus it's beautiful. It is a
beautiful.
special place out there.
It gets pretty fucking hot in the summer.
Oh my God, man!
What's the hot?
But it's not as hot as Palm Springs.
Is that right?
It's 10 degrees hotter minimum all the time in Palm Springs.
Whoa, I never knew that. Why is that?
Because the altitude.
Oh, the altitude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you go up. Now, what are we talking about for property there now? Like a house? Like has it got crazy?
For compared to what it used to be, there's a kind of a crappy neighborhood that's right in town, and I looked at a house for $30,000 like four years ago.
Yep.
Size of an apartment with a tiny yard, but nonetheless $30,000.
Yeah.
And those houses are 160, 170 now.
Whoa,
Yeah.
man. Wow.
I mean, I'm sure there's a deal out there,
Yeah.
but it ain't like it used to be for sure. But still, if you're looking, if you're looking at probably 400,000 now in L.A.
Yeah.
You can get a $160,000 house.
Fuck yeah.
It's affordable.
But you got to be self-contained. You got to be like you work where you work because
there ain't no jobs out there.
No, there ain't no jobs or anything. So you have to either have money or you work at home and you can live anywhere.
Yeah.
I often was I was thinking about this while I was out there. All you guys tour a lot.
Yep.
So when you fly, you got to go all the way to LAX.
Palm Springs too.
Palm Springs?
Yeah, Palm Springs is international.
You can. Are they?
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Always have been.
I never fucking knew that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
do you fly out of Palm Springs?
Sometimes, the problem with Palm Springs is it's not LA, so it's a lot of connections. Sometimes that works out to easier to fly to LAX and just drive home.
Right.
Or there's Orange County, or there's
Oh yeah.
there's closer big airports. But yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, right. You're getting ready to leave on tour tomorrow. You guys are going out 5 weeks. This will be out today.
Yeah, with Mastodon.
Mastodon again. They got a
and
brand-
Russian Circles, who are amazing.
Oh, again,
Yeah.
Russian Circles. Same. It's kind of a pickup of that tour from earlier this year.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, we've all been friends for a long time, and
Mastodon released an EP on Friday.
I know, and it's killer.
Yeah.
And those guys are great, man.
They're fucking smoking,
they
right?
shred.
Oh.
And Russian Circles, I'd never met them, but I've been a fan of theirs for a while. They're super cool guys, and their stuff is huge and cinematic, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I saw you guys at the Palladium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention is I got a new radio show playing metal for Gimme Radio. It's a new radio station.
Oh, what is it?
It's called GimmeRadio.com. It's free.
Yeah.
My friend Dean Rispler got me involved in it. He plays with the Dictators amongst many other
Oh,
bands.
yeah. Where do you find this at?
If you just look up GimmeRadio.com, GIMME radio.com.
And what do you do? A show weekly, or
I do a show every week. Yeah.
and you play metal on it?
Yep.
Are you a big metal guy?
I like hard rock. My show is proto metal, so
Yeah.
my stuff is 60s, 70s, 80s predominantly.
Yeah.
But I do new. I play Mastodon and stuff,
yeah.
But
You a big Merciful Fate guy?
oh hell yeah,
God, yeah, right?
yeah, man, come on.
Oh, fucking great.
Yeah.
C-U-N-T!
But my stuff is more, like
UFO.
yeah,
Priest,
AC/DC, Priest,
AC/DC, yeah.
And
Saxon.
Like my show last week was more the punk rock roots of metal.
Oh, yeah.
Like played some Flag and
Yeah.
But yeah, check that out if you haven't checked it out.
Oh.
You would love it, man. It's a great station. Really cool people involved too.
I'm all over that.
They're really cool. They did a lot of push for Brian's too.
Oh, that's great.
That was cool. They're really good.
Before we go, Karina V, you got the Gabriel. I had him on. Echo Park Guitars. I found out basically from all you guys playing them, and then I had him on, and it was incredible. I went to his house in Detroit.
Isn't that a great one?
Oh, God. That house is great, but you got the Karina V. You've been playing it ever since.
Oh, yeah, man. That thing, it took a big digger in Paris, and I brought it back, and he put a whole new neck on it now, and it's my favorite guitar, That's my guitar.
I mean, you are known as the V guy, you know? I love it, man.
Yeah.
And what are your amps?
Right now I'm playing Orange OR50s, and I use my Zinke quite often, and a guy, Jim Taylor, out of Portland, made me a Lanham. A Lanham. That's his. It's a new amp, and he let me borrow one, and I had to get one.
How is it?
It sounds amazing. So between the Zinke, the Lanham, and the Orange, I've got the spectrum covered.
You got the Metal Command.
I got the Metal Command. So I hope everybody comes out to see these shows, man. Get there early for Russian Circles.
Absolutely.
And then we play in the middle, and then Mastodon just takes it on home.
I can't wait, man. You guys coming to LA at all again?
We are doing San Diego.
Oh, when?
That's a good. You'll have to look at.
I'll look it up.
Eagles of Death Metal Tour.
I'm gonna go.
I will. Yeah, you need to come down there for that.
I'm going to that.
It's gonna be a good one.
Well, thanks for doing the show, dude.
Dude, you know how much I love you.
I fucking love you, dude.
I'm so glad. Hopefully, you'll have me back on at some other time.
I would have you on twice a year, like a series.
Let's do it.
How great would that be?
Will you be on my Gimme Radio show? My Gimme Radio show is called Ascendant Oral Architects.
I'll be on your radio show anytime. Yeah. Will you? And I still want to come out, me, Goss, and you, and do a song at Rancho.
Let's do it. We got BOC on bass.
Let's get BOC and
Joey C and Gene Troutman. We'll do double drums.
Yeah, and then let's just. I told Goss, you guys. We get in the room and we record one song completely organic from the ground up, and we make it my intro to song for every show I ever do on my podcast.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and also I want to do a documentary on me, so I want to record the music at Rancho for the documentary out there.
Why don't we shoot for December? Is that looking good?
I'm in. Okay. I'm in for real. I really want to do this. Handshake.
We shook hands, everybody.
Yeah, and we'll do it, and it'll be the song for now on, starting 2018, the Rancho song for Let There Be Talk.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Thank you so much. Instagram is I took this picture.
I took this photo. And Rancho de la Luna is the Twitter.
And BOC's GoFundMe page, please go there and donate. Is GoFundMe.com, Brian O'Connor.
Yep.
And do this, please. And also, I'll give you guys a heads up when we start doing these desert comedy shows, the Desert Laugh Sessions.
That's it, the laugh session.
And stay tuned also for Hutch will be here. He's going to be doing this pretty soon. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. That's how we get it into the #1 there on iTunes. See you guys. Candles lit.